NBA players get asked a lot of questions, but one of the most revealing is when they're asked what it's like sharing the floor and the locker room with a superstar.
Who does Anthony Edwards remind you of?
Oh man, I think you guys mentioned it a lot. I think young Michael Jordan, bro, honestly. I think he thinks he's the best player ever to play the game, to walk on earth. You can't tell him any different. He's going to go out there. He has a mean streak to him.
With Anthony Edwards, the answer never starts with numbers. It starts with personality.
By the way, I don't know anybody who doesn't love that guy in the league too, right?
Before the highlights, before the confidence, before the quotes that go viral, there is something teammates notice immediately. Anthony Edwards is exactly who he says he is, and he don't mind pressing a leader like Obama. But before we get to that, let's hear NBA players describe what it is like being teammates with Anthony Edwards.
He don't change for nobody, no matter who it is. It can be Steve Jobs or Jeff Bezos in the room, or whatever. It can be, utility work. Like, it don't matter. He's gonna treat everybody the same.
What Julius Randle is describing there is rare. Not talent, but identity. Anthony Edwards does not adjust his personality based on who is watching or who's in front of him. And that matters in a league where attention can bend people without them realizing it.
Didn't let any success, any of that get to him. So the fact that he's in every single day says a lot about who he is as a person.
That's why he tells it like he sees it, even in front of a political leader like Barack Obama.
He can hoop a little bit, huh? A little bit, huh?
Man, y'all better stand down. I'm the truth.
He's the truth. He said he's the truth. Yeah.
D-boy, know.
You've got to understand that this is not a performance by Ant-Man. It's who he is, and he stood on business.
LeBron. Listen, are y'all talking to this young man? Because he just keeps on. Right now, he just said he's the truth and all that. And
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the
that's
truth.
what he said.
You asked him, he's telling the whole context of the situation, though. You asked him what he think about this young man, and he said, I'm okay. I said, I'm the truth. He's tripping. That's what happened.
If you want to know how it must have felt in that room, just look at Bam Adebayo's face. Things could have easily gone from 0 to 100 real quick. But like Randall said, Ant don't fold for nobody. But all of that confidence would not mean much if it did not show up where it matters most, once the ball goes up.
When you play next to five, like, it make the game a lot easier, you know what I mean? Because they throwing 2 or 3 people at them, so you just got to be, willing to move and be in the right spaces on the floor, and you got to be able to take advantage of that. So,
3-time Defensive Player of the Year Rudy Gobert said as much.
I know he's been watching a lot of film, he's been, communicating a lot, so he's really, he's really locked in. I believe in him, he believes in us. And he's someone that is always up for any type of challenge.
That balance is important. Edwards wants the freedom to dominate, but he also wants teammates who are ready when the moment swings their way. But it's not just personality that makes Anthony Edwards so great. It's also his confidence and his intelligence. And speaking of intelligence, that brings us to today's sponsor, Aura. I'm sure you can Google it. I also recently Googled myself, and honestly, I wish I hadn't. I found pages of my personal info being sold online by data broker sites. We're talking name, address, phone number, even some of my relatives, my neighbors, my socials, and even some of the stuff I owned. Like, seriously, it's kinda scary. That's why I started using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura automatically finds where your information is being sold and gets it removed. Unlike other online security services, Aura also monitors the dark web, protects your passwords, gives you real-time fraud alerts, and even includes a VPN and antivirus. They also offer up to $5 million in identity theft insurance if anything ever happens, which honestly gives me way more peace of mind. Click the link in the description below to try Aura free for 14 days at aura.com/hoopers. It's wild how much of your info they can remove in even the first week. Seriously, give it a try. Again, that's aura.com/HOOPERS. Now, back to the video. But now, back to Ant-Man and his mentality. And Naz Reid gives us an idea into his mindset.
I think the mentality shift is completely different. I think the winning mentality, I think the way he strives for greatness, obviously, the way he works, he has younger guys in the gym following suit, TJ, Rob, and those guys, and I think he's ready to win.
Right here, you can see that the focus is no longer just on what he can do, it's on what the group can become. Work has a way of exposing intent. When younger players start copying habits, it usually means they believe in the direction things are going.
Obviously, stats are one thing and individual accolades are one thing, but I think he's been more about team. And I think that's one of the biggest growth areas for me.
This is what leadership is about, and Naz Reid can't believe how much of a good job Ant-Man is doing at such a young age.
His leadership and how he's been leading as young as he is, it's kind of crazy to me. But yeah, man, I think you'd think he's 30, like seriously. But just how vocal he is, he wants to win. You could tell. He's desperate. He wants his teammates to do well as well.
That description is not selfish. It is inclusive. He pushes, but he pulls people with him. And that kind of leadership does not stop at the top of the roster.
Him being the leader that he is, it just falls down the line and kind of falls into my hands with the younger guys as well, and just so forth and so on. So I think just inspiring each other day by day, moments like this, like today, is huge.
And there's no doubt that Ant-Man can be very inspirational, even to the kids.
What's your name, man? Grayson, nice to meet you. Walk up on him and be like, hey, sign my ball, partner. You gotta tell him straight like that.
I'll make sure I say it.
See, there go Rudy, you gotta be like, hey, partner, sign my ball.
But it's not just the kids he inspires. Even the vets speak of the belief, the edge, and the energy he brings. Even big actors like Adam Sandler admire him for it. But before we get to that, here's teammate Mike Conley speaking on it.
He's unbelievable. I think more than anything with him has been his like mentality. I've never met a guy or been a teammate with a guy who believes more in himself than Anthony Edwards.
That belief shows up everywhere, but especially when the game demands more than scoring.
And what's most impressive about him is the way he competes on the defensive end. Not a lot of guys have that ability to take over games on both sides of the floor. Just super excited to have him as a teammate.
Although Adam Sandler is not a teammate, he loves Ant-Man just the same.
He's got this charisma, he's funny, he's cool, laid back.
Very confident, too.
Confident in his game. All the guys were hanging out together, young NBA guys, and Trey and Anthony Edwards were like at half court, and they were going like 4 for 4 for whatever. They were just hitting these shots. They were challenging each other in a fun way, but it meant, it meant a lot to Anthony to hit those shots because he was like the real youngster there.
It's not just the talent, schemes, or health, but what teammates feel every single day. Teammate Dante DiVincenzo puts it best.
He's a great dude. He's a great, I don't know how old is he, 23? He's 23, so he's like, I'm not saying it like I'm 50, but like, he's a young kid that's just so charismatic and cares about his teammates and just wants to have fun. And when you're around that every day, that energy wears off on everybody. It rubs off on the coaches, the players, the staff.
That kind of presence changes how a team walks into the building. You do not feel like dragging through a day when your best player sets the tone with joy. But the fun is only one side of it.
You want to come in and have a good day because you know he's going to come in with a smile on his face, and that's the fun side of everything. But then also you learn that dude is an animal, how hard he works. And we were talking about the year, and he said, last year I focused going into the season on my 3-ball. He goes and sets the, NBA, leads the NBA in threes. So when he says last night, no one's gonna work harder than him, I can bet my money no one's gonna work harder.
When you listen to teammates talk about Anthony Edwards, a pattern forms. He is the same person every day. He believes without hesitation. He works without shortcuts. And he leads without waiting for permission. And all that has brought success that Karl Anthony Towns loves to see.
I get so proud when I see him doing well. I have my driver pass by a lot, the Adidas store, just so I can see the Anthony Edwards sign on the thing, because I feel like a proud big brother.
It's clear. Anthony Edwards isn't just described as a superstar with so much potential, but he should probably have a show called Everybody Loves Ant. But down in Denver is another superstar that teammates love to talk about. Watch NBA players describe what it's like being teammates with Nikola Jokic next.